İyi günler. Herkese mutlu 29 Ekim diliyorum. My name is Jaylin Kiraz Shahin, and today I want to tell you guys a little story about what being Turkish means to me. My name is Jaylin, for those of you who don't know me, and it's spelled Ceylin. And of course you could assume this has caused a little bit of confusion growing up in America. Whenever I meet new people or on the first day of school, the teachers always mispronounce my name. I get Ceylin, Kaling, sometimes even Sealing, which is a little strange of course. But I'm always more than happy to tell people that my name is actually pronounced Jaylin, and the letter C makes a J sound due to my name being Turkish. From there, I always go into a conversation about my heritage, and I'm always more than happy to tell people about it. Being a woman in STEM, it means a lot to me to be from a country that cares about women and their right to education. And while I could discuss that for days on end, we are here to celebrate the 97th anniversary of the Republic of Turkey. And with that, I bid everybody a happy 29 Ekim.
Hi, my name is Ela Elmas and I am 21 years old and I am a first generation Turkish American here in Colorado. I actually was born here in Denver and I was raised in a Turkish household, a very Turkish household, and I actually dealt with a lot of the issues a lot of kids at this day and age deal with in terms of trying to find a balance of cultures. And I think that this 29 Ekim, I want to recognize the fact that there are so many people going through that and that there are so many opportunities to provide education to help further these challenges and get through them and find a balance of these cultures. And so that's something I wanted to discuss because growing up, I think I found a lot of roadblocks in my life where I couldn't figure out how to find a balance between the American lifestyle that I was surrounded by in my environment and the Turkish household I was actually being raised in my actual environment. And so it was always a roadblock that I faced. And I think that, it makes me recognize how thankful I am for TAYCO and how they actually formed a community to help bring awareness to these kinds of issues and help provide the resources to aid with these kinds of issues, because it is a crisis and it is a challenge, I think, for some to be able to find themselves when they are kind of torn between two different cultures. And so I think that that's something to always bring awareness to, and that's something that I am thankful for this year and every year, but I do want to recognize that this year. And that is, I think, something that led me to being involved with TAYCO and having, my sister Elena and Jaylin as well bring that awareness even further to the youth and recognizing all of the issues that are being faced every day, whether it do be, developing our language still or understanding the history of Turkey. And I think that's something that Atatürk has always been so passionate about that also resonates with us now in terms of always continuing to educate the youth and continuing to further them and making them even better than the last generation in terms of understanding and developing. And so that's always something that I am thankful for. And I think, now that I have lived so much of my youth and I've been through a lot of these challenges, I do want to give my experiences to others and, help them through what we can. And so that's something that I see a lot with, the younger generation, how they get stuck and they're at a roadblock and how we can be there to fix them. So I am thankful for that this year and every year, but I do want to recognize that this year 29 Ekim. Another reason as to why TAYCO is super important to me is because I feel like it's opened so many doors for me to understand the Turkish culture in ways that I wasn't able to do in my household. And so an example of that is being able to look at other states and the way that they're dealing with the same thing that we're dealing with here in Colorado in terms of how to get the Turkish community involved. And so that's what I've been exposed to through many endeavors, such as going to Washington, D.C. and meeting other delegates from other states who also have their own Turkish coalitions. And that I feel like is so important to continue doing. And I think that that's something that Atatürk definitely helped us incorporate into our lifestyles, is bringing unity and bringing education to things that need to have awareness brought to them. And so I think TAYCO providing that opportunity for us is always something that's so amazing. And so I'm so thankful for that. And this 29 Ekim, I want to amplify how thankful I am for everything that TAYCO has done and everything that TAYCO is doing in terms of uniting our cultures, educating the youth who feels like they're not exposed to the culture that they want to be a part of as much as they can, and, educating whatever we can on whatever there is to learn. And so that's something that I want to keep with me and bring for my kids one day when I'm also teaching them about the Turkish culture and the Turkish language, and having these resources to help me help them one day. So that's what I'm thankful for this 29 Ekim. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Alena Elmas, and I'm going to be speaking about the importance of 29 Ekim to me. Growing up being a second-generation Turkish American definitely has some of its difficulties. I found it hard to balance being both immersed in a Turkish culture at home and an American culture at school. It was very hard to understand who I actually was a part of. I didn't know if I could be a part of both or if I just had to stick to one. At one end, I was speaking Turkish and eating Turkish food at home, when on the other end, which was spent most of my time, I would go to an American school and have American friends and constantly speak English. I always found it hard to balance both lives. However, I always felt like through events like 29 Ekim and 23 Nisan, I got closer to my Turkish roots and my Turkish blood. It definitely would hit me the most during 29 Ekim because I learned there the most about the Turkish history and Atatürk, of course. And I always saw the difference between Americans and Turkish people in their national pride. So this is definitely not a comparison, but being a part of both cultures, I definitely see the difference, where Turkish people idolize and look up to Atatürk, and we want to be a great man like him and lead his success that he had and continue that success for our country, because we know the dedication and the hardships that the soldiers and Atatürk went through to modernize our nation and gain independence. And it's through that and what Turkish people are taught growing up that we gain such national pride and we have such a passion for our country. And even just listening to the national anthem, I always found myself getting teary-eyed and getting goosebumps even at these little holidays, because it seems I didn't really hear it anywhere else. It was always just at Independence Day or 29 Nisan. Whereas when I would hear the American national anthem at school, I felt like it didn't really belong to me. It was something I respected, but it didn't connect to me as much as the Turkish national anthem did, because that felt like it was a part of me. And I want this to go forward with future Turkish American generations, because through events like 29 Ekim, I learned more about my country and national pride and the importance of having passion for your country. And I want that to continue for future youth generations, because having passion for your country, within a country that the culture isn't mostly there, it's really hard to continue that passion and that love. But if we're immersed within people who have that same passion and share that culture, it's definitely more accessible. So through organizations like TAYCO, students and the youth are just able to connect with individuals that are just like them and learn more about Turkish history and the importance of loving our country and taking pride in being a part of such a beautiful nation that supports evolution and modernization and just being the best version of ourselves, which is what every youth should strive to be.
Merhaba, ben Altan Şahin. 29 Ekim Cumhuriyet Bayramınız kutlu olsun. What does it mean to be Turkish American? I get this question very often. To be Turkish American is a very prideful meaning within my heart. I am proud of the ethnic background and the culture that this title holds. To witness the best of both cultures. And culture can mean many things, but one of the main things that it means to me is language. It is a factor on my daily life. I use it at home and in the public. It is part of my own personality and one of the crucial building blocks that makes me who I am. But going off of that, culture is not only language. It is art, history, and music as well. And music, like language, is one of the crucial building blocks that I use within my daily life. I listen, learn, and speak from it. It is the fun teacher of this language. and has opened my heart and my eyes to other cultures. And the other part is history. If Mustafa Kemal Atatürk never created the Republic of Turkey, I would have never had the setting of pride within my heart, or the title that I could say that I am Turkish American. It is history who makes me, and it is I who make the future. No, it is us who make the future. We are the Turkish American youth, and like Atatürk has said before me, ne mutlu Türk'ün diyenin.
I'm proud to be a Turk because the culture is really unique and we have super good music and a bunch of different types of music, and we have really good food, and there's just so many things that is unique about the Turkish culture.
Hi, I'm Ekim, and being Turkish means a number of different things to me. It means having a tight-knit community of friends who have become my family. It means 16 people staying in the same house for the weekend. It means watching my dad and his friends sing Erkekler Ağlamaz after a few glasses of rakı. It means going to Turkey every summer and having to yell over everyone at the dinner table talking at the same time. It means getting to eat my anne's delicious home-cooked meals and my babaanne's desserts. And most of all, it means being part of a welcoming and accepting culture that I'm proud to be a part of.